Uno momento as I send the link out. Okay. Hello, welcome to the stream, for those who are here. Okay. Okay. Uno momento as I set this up. We're back in it again, ladies and gents, with Ozmafia. This is going to be interesting, because last time the stream cut out, so, just a quick rundown. Amy, the main character we named, woke up, doesn't know who she is, and we're surrounded by men. We were getting chased by Caesar Salad, the boy in the top right-hand corner, the white hair, yellow eyes. We were introduced to Kitty, Axel, Scarlet, So, Ketamia, Hachette, Heidi, Hansel and Gretel, and many others. But, last time, we ran into Scarlet. So, this is, from where I stopped, before I realized, oh no, stream cut out. So, here we go again with the craziness. Hopefully I'll have enough energy and enough Mountain Dew to keep me going. Scarlet gave them each a small nod before turning around to leave. The rifle on Scarlet's back swayed a bit with each step.
Scarlet's pretty scary.
Yeah, right. That's nothing.
Oh yeah, I should probably also... I'm gonna reduce my background noise a little bit so my voice picks up more, because I noticed from last stream, whenever I backed away from the mic, some words cut out and didn't process over. So I'm going to be closer to the mic, but I'm also going to turn down the background reducer thing. So you might be hearing my fan, sadly. But Scarlet is probably the most level-headed of the members of Family Grimm. The twins are much crueler.
Yeah, Hansel and Gretel can be pretty reckless. Mind that you don't end up in a fight with those two.
I will.
Suddenly, Amy realized Axel had been staring at her.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Mr. Axel?
You should be safe as long as you stay inside Oz territory.
Huh?
I'm trying to say that you should be safe, so there's no need to be scared.
Okay.
Are you trying to tell her that you'll protect her? Trying to sound cool, huh?
I am not. I just mean that the family is always guarding our own territory, so...
On Aren't you part of the family too, Axel?
Ugh. We've finished the tour of our territory already. I will return to my usual duties.
Mr. Axel.
He just ran off because he was embarrassed. Well, shall we walk around a little more? There's this great ice cream place nearby. I'll take you there.
Okay.
I'm trying to make Ketamia sound a little bit lighter in my throat so that it's not difficult for my throat. Oh boy. Last time I went with Axel. I kind of want to go with Axel again. I'm biased, can you tell? Okay. Axel, here we go. Baby boy of the century. Ooh, new music.
Maybe I should go out into town today. Oh, Mr. Axel. Are you going out too?
If you are.
Me?
Yes. Ooh. Axel spoke between sighs. The Dawn has asked me to chaperone you until you become more accustomed to the town. If you're going out, I will follow you. Let's go, guest.
Oh, please wait. There are so many people out today.
Axel gave no hint of a reaction as he walked behind her.
Maybe I'm getting used to him not answering me.
That made her a bit sad, but for some reason she felt it was easier to accept if she assumed that was just the kind of person he was.
Huh?
She stopped abruptly.
There's a side street here. Mr. Axel, where does this lead?
Instead of answering her, Axel pulled a piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to her.
This is...
A map of our territory. The information you are looking for is on it.
Thank you very much. It's a byroad. I see. I see. Nope, definitely not getting used to it. The silence is killing me.
The people walking the streets were chatting happily, but between the two of them there was no conversation to speak of.
I can't just wait for him to say something. I have to make an effort. What to talk about? Mr. Axel, are you not very busy?
Excuse me?
Well, you came out with me even though we didn't make plans in advance. I figure you must have a lot of free time. So...
With each word that came out of her mouth, another wrinkle appeared on Axel's forehead. Don't be ridiculous. Oh wait, no, he has a British accent. What am I doing? Don't be ridiculous. I'm only accompanying you because I was told to prioritize protecting you. I have plenty of other work to do.
Oh, okay. Must be pretty hard having to take care of me in addition to all your regular work, huh? Slash.
It wouldn't be difficult at all if you would just stay in your room.
Sorry.
You say you're sorry, but you're not making any attempt to return to the mansion.
Oh no, I think I made him mad again.
As much as she wanted to befriend him, the distance between them only seemed to be widening. She sighed to herself and turned around to head back.
Okay, let's go back to the mansion then.
It's fine. I don't mind continuing like this.
But Mr. Axel, being stuck with me is no fun, right?
My feelings are irrelevant. I don't have the authority to restrict your actions. It's my duty to follow you where you want to go.
Duty.
I want you to have fun too.
I want you to have fun. I want you to have fun too, Mr. Axel. It's Sunday, and Sunday is a special day in this town, right? That's why I think you should be having fun too, Mr. Axel. Not just me. At least, that's how I feel.
She shrank back as she turned her... She shrank back as he turned his sharp gaze toward her. Don't worry about me. Just spend your time as you see fit.
But
I said it was vain. Are you trying to upset me?
of course not.
Then don't worry about it. Just pretend I'm not even here. Let's go.
Mr. Axel.
Drink. Stay hydrated, folks. Don't be like me, where you strictly drink Mountain Dew. Oh my god. No! I don't like Kiri. Why is Kiri here? Why is he here? I don't like Kiri. I'm sorry for making you come out with me on your precious Sunday.
Oh no, I'm happy you invited me. Mr. Kitty, you're really busy on weekdays, aren't you?
But I'm about to keel over. Of course, it's not like you're completely unrelated to how busy I am. I have to stifle my own interests and do my job. You understand, don't you?
Yes.
Good. It's already been 3 weeks since we met. How are you finding your stay? I don't want to answer him, like, at all. It's pleasant.
Thanks to your hospitality, it's been very pleasant.
I'm happy to hear that. How can I help you feel more at home living in a house full of men? I intend to do what I can to attend to your needs. If there is anything you are dissatisfied with, please don't hesitate to mention it. If it is within my power, I will take care of it. Kiri, why? I don't like you. You look like a cucumber. You look more like a salad than Caesar.
Ugh. Oh no, things are fine the way they are. I couldn't possibly ask for more.
Now that's no good, Miss Amy. You're our very special guest, after all. Kitty clasped her right hand with both of his. She could feel the warmth of his hands through his gloves. Entertaining you is part of my job. No. 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 Back up, cucumber. You look like lettuce. Back up, lettuce boy. I know there's a character named Man Boy, but this guy should be called Man Boy. Or better yet, Lettuce Boy. She stiffened as he touched his hand to her cheek.
Mr. Curie!
Yes, what is it?
What is it? I mean your hand.
Oh, you... Oh my god. Me no likey. Me no likey. Me no likey. Me really no likey. Oh, you'd rather I touch you barehanded? Very well. Kitty brought his hand to his mouth and pulled off his glove with his teeth.
I didn't mean it like that.
Oh my god. This man, this lettuce boy, said, let me touch your hand. And then he touched her cheek. And then she's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he says, oh, so touching isn't enough. What an audacious request to make in such a public space in the middle of the day.
No.
It seemed like the more she spoke, the more he misunderstood. Oh my god. If any impressionable boys are watching this right now, I would greatly advise to not do what this lettuce head is doing, okay? Consent is good, okay? Asking for consent is even better. Lettuce boy, back the hell up.
How should I explain this?
He smiled at her, who was visibly at a complete loss. Don't worry, I know exactly what you meant.
Huh?
I'm actually pretty sharp when it comes to conversation. I just wanted to mess with you.
Mess with me?
You see, I just can't help teasing girls I like, and even those I don't. That was just a little taste just now. You should prepare yourself. Cabbage Patch Man boy. Leave Amy alone. Leave her alone.
Okay.
Well, enough of this idle chit-chat. Shall we be going?
Where are we going?
Let's keep that a surprise. I hate Cutie. I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.
This place.
Been here before?
No, never. I had no idea this place existed.
How unkind of How unkind of Katamia and Axel to only give you bits and pieces of information. This is Oscar Wilde Street. Like the main plaza and the clinic, it's an unaffiliated area. You're free to come here. However, the members of Family Oz tend to avoid it.
Why?
Good question. Perhaps because it's a place for adult socialization.
Adult?
That building over there is a church. It's not locked, so you can confess your sins whenever you feel so inclined. And this... It's Man Boy. Look at his stupid face. Man Boy. Oh god, what voice to give you? This is either gonna be totally hilarious or awful. Good afternoon, Lord Carey. Let's try to do a Scottish accent. Oh my, did you come out just to see us? I just happened to see you. I come out here. See you out here. Is this woman the one you spoke of before? And he doesn't even have the proper dialect, so I'll just change it. Indeed she is. I would feel just awful if I didn't show her around every corner of town. Oh my god. Disgusting. Okay. Well, I do... Screw it, he's country. Well, I do not believe she needs to know absolutely everything. Particularly this area. I must apologizing for making so long to introduce myself. I am Man Boy. The Oscar Wilde Salon's concierge.
I'm Amy. Family Oz has been taking care of me. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh no, the pleasure is all mine, Lady Amy. Salon, huh? I have not said anything false. Yes, that is true. Let's leave it at that. Amy looked back and forth between their contrary expressions. Kitty smiled at her confused countenance. Man Boy here is very well acquainted with this particular area. If you want to know anything, you should ask him. Lord Curie. I thought you hadn't said anything false. Yes, that is true. Are you just showing her around today? I cannot imagine you would be bringing Lady Amy along with you inside. Oh no, it's much too soon for her. Is this a brothel? Is this a brothel?
Soon? What do you mean?
Good question. What do you think, man boy?
Well, I'm here.
Mr. Axel!
She turned around as Axel approached. He seemed to be in quite a sour mood, shotgun in hand.
Oh, are you sure you're not early? Don't be ridiculous, I'm right on time. May I bring the house guest back home? Yes, that will do.
Back up, lettuce man. Cucumber looking crumpet. Moldy crumpet. Fuzzy green bread.
Excuse me, Miss Amy. I have some work to attend to at the salon right now.
Even though it's Sunday?
Yes, no rest for the consularage, after all. Oh. Liar. Did you say something, Axel? No. Let's go, guest.
Axel started walking without waiting for her to respond. Oh, he's a nice boy.
Okay.
She paused to turn around and wave before she hurried after Axel.
Goodbye, Mr. Kitty.
Mr. Man Boy. Oh boy. Kitty gave her a little wave, keeping his hand close to his chest. Man Boy sighed and began to speak.
What are you thinking, bringing a girl that age to a place like...
Oh wait, no, that's British. What are you thinking? Bringing a girl that age to a place like this?
And I could ask you what you're thinking, speaking of your workplace like that. She might even end up becoming a customer, you know.
My word, you intend to bring her again?
Oh no, I'll let her curiosity take care of that. Miss Amy is an irregular presence, so I can't even begin to imagine what future she will choose. Look forward to it, man boy.
Huh. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh, that scared me for a second.
I wonder where we're going.
If they were returning to the Oz mansion, surely they would have just taken the red brick road. Yet the road they walking along... There should be the word war. Yet the road they were walking along was paved with bricks of emerald, not red.
Mr. Axel sure walks fast.
He smoothly slipped through the crowd, not paying any mind to her chasing after him.
We'll be separated at this rate. Mr. Axel, please wait. Ugh.
She smacked into Axel's back. She looked up at him, pouting, as she clutched her nose.
What?
That's my line. Why did you stop so suddenly?
Weren't you the one who asked me to wait?
I did say that. Thank you for listening to me.
He's so cute. Axel's gaze shifted from Amy to his right hand. He didn't say a word, he just stared at it.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I can hear your footsteps. I won't leave you behind. Let's go.
Okay. Well, it kind of seems like he's slowed down a little. Is Mr. Axel trying to match my pace?
He's a cutie. At the end of the Emerald Brick Road was a street not unlike those in the Oz territory. The houses had gently curving roofs. The smell of baked sweets hung in the air.
I'm sure this must be another Family J territory, but it's Sunday, so it must be okay to be here, right?
Found it.
Huh? Those two were...
Get your double trouble biscuits while they're hot!
Hansel was standing in the middle of the street, energetically peddling his wares. An orange carpet, casually covered with bags of baked sweets, was spread out one corner of the street. Behind the sack sat Gretel, who, unlike Hansel, had a sour, decidedly unwelcoming expression, unbecoming of a salesperson on her face.
They're the Grimm family. Cap or Gemaze. Hansel and Gretel, do you remember them?
Yes, I learned their names at the meeting.
Axel nodded slightly and approached Hansel. Amy followed.
Oh, if it isn't Axel!
Gretel hastily stood up and hurried behind Hansel, clinging to his back. She glared at Axel and Amy from behind her fellow countrymen.
What do you want, robot?
My name is Axel.
Oh, trust me, robot. I know. Why'd you come here with that little girl?
Little girl?
Hansel, isn't this girl the one who was sitting between the sleepyhead and the trickster? That's the one, Gretel. Well?
I'm sorry, my mind is like, who's talking? Yeah, okay.
Well, if it isn't the little girl, what do you want with us Grimms? Itching for a fight? I'll take you up on that if you want.
Wait, is Gretel... My brain is malfunctioning.
If it was a fight they were after, they'd have come with more people, right? Which means... It's an ambush. No!
Hansel's the boy, right?
I know. A date, then. No! Then it's an ambush, clearly. Hansel, prepare to counterattack. Or are we gonna blow him up? Hansel, Gretel, put your weapons away.
Scarlet?
Look, they're obviously harmless. It's hard to imagine they were trying to start something. Are you sure those eyes aren't just for show? Robot here is carrying a gun. I'm only following Family A rules to be armed at all times. I mean, the two of you always have dynamite and grenades on you, right? That and it's Sunday. We all have to adhere to the compromise, right?
My brain is not functioning. Okay, so Gretel is the girl. My brain's not functioning, as I said. I had to look it up.
That thing is so dumb that we should just break it right now.
Gretel.
Tch. Alright then. If you're not here for a date or an attack, then what is it?
To buy sweets.
So that's it. I wonder who we're doing this errand for.
Well, she is.
Huh? I am?
You are on too. She stopped talking as Axel gave her a meaningful look.
He must have his reasons.
Playing along, she nodded in agreement.
Oh, really? Well, thanks for shopping with us. They all cost the same, so just pick whatever catches your fancy.
Okay.
Which should I pick? She crouched down in front of the sweets, clutching her knees as she tried to make a decision. Third from the right.
Huh?
While she hadn't been paying attention, Axel had crouched down beside her. He'd whispered into her ear quietly so that only she could hear him. Third one from the right.
Third from the right.
Third from the right was 6 chocolate chip cookies in a clear bag tied up with a blue ribbon.
Which one do you want?
How about this one?
Gretel wrapped the bag of cookies in paper before handing it to Hansel.
Alrighty, thanks for shopping with us.
I'll pay. Hansel held out his hand expectantly.
Huh? Are you sure it's not a day?
No, we're just shopping.
Alright, if you say so. Deliciousness guaranteed on your money back, or your money back. Let me know what you think about them next time you come by, if you feel like it.
Oh, certainly.
Amy reached out to take the bag of sweets. Before she could pull away, Hansel grabbed her hand.
So I'm curious. Can you actually speak for yourself without being prompted?
Of course I can, Mr. Hansel.
Then just be yourself with me, okay? Also, I'd appreciate it if you didn't call me Mr. Hansel. It just doesn't feel right.
Then how about just Hansel?
Yeah, perfect. What are you doing, Hansel? Isn't this little girl the Oz's? I know, but they're just taking care of her. She's not actually part of their family, eh? Nothing wrong with being a little friendly, right, Scarlet? Yes. Oh, yes. Within reason. Yay! What are you so excited about? What are you gonna do if they win her over? You're such an idiot, Hansel. Aren't you happy, Gretel? You made a girlfriend. I have no intention of ever making friends. Gretel and Scarlet are happy to meet you too, Amy. Amy, baby.
Thanks.
Amy squeezed his hand back. Unlike Hansel, Gretel's gaze was icy cold. We're done here. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Wait. What? I'll escort you out of our territory.
You will?
Yeah, Gretel isn't particularly fond of you two. I'll make sure she doesn't try anything. We don't need an escort. I'll keep my distance, don't worry. Scarlet walked over to one of the houses and began clambering up a drain pipe. In the blink of an eye, Scarlet was on the roof, looking down at Axel and Amy. Never listens. Let's go, guest.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Amy, baby. Goodbye, Hansel.
Greta? Greta? Isn't her name Gretel? Oh, it's a nickname. Greta.
How dare that little girl give me a nickname? Isn't that nice, Gretel? It is not. It's not nice to be treated like you're less significant than a grain of sand. Just what is that little girl plotting?
She's plotting nothing.
It feels a little strange to be walking side by side with Mr. Axel. Mr. Axel, are you intentionally slowing yourself down?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not doing it as a favor.
Huh?
I don't want the other side to see what you're doing.
Other side? Oh, you mean Scarlet.
Scarlet was walking along the rooftops, keeping a fixed distance from Amy and Axel.
It's pretty amazing that Scarlet can walk like that without keeping an eye... Oh, well, keeping an eye on us.
I'm keeping you from view. Don't go out of your way to make yourself visible.
Is it bad if I'm seen?
It doesn't feel very good to have someone watching your every move, does it?
I'm sorry. I know what he said, but maybe he really is doing it to be nice to me. Mr. Axel might be a really kind person after all.
Oh my god. Why are you smiling?
I was just thinking that you're a really nice person, Mr. Axel.
The audacity!
Mr. Axel?
No, nothing. You interrupted my train of thought with your strange comment.
Strange. Was there something strange about what I said?
He stopped.
He stopped talking. Maybe I said something I shouldn't have.
She cocked her head to the side, puzzled, but she couldn't figure out what she'd done wrong.
It feels like such a waste to go home in silence.
She looked around, trying to find a new conversation topic.
Oh, that's right. Did Mr. Kirimiya ask you to get these cookies? Was it Mr. Kiri?
I'm not obligated to tell you.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm no good at this. I just keep offending Mr. Axel.
They're delicious.
Huh?
Those cookies are delicious. I'll let you have one.
Does that mean these are...
He looked away and Amy bit her tongue.
Does that mean Mr. Axel wanted to eat them himself?
Suddenly, those simple cookies seemed unusually special to her.
Guest,
yes.
Yes?
I just realized I gave... If anybody has ever, watched Beast Wars, seasons... I think there's 3 of them, but season 1, like, quote-unquote Generation 1 Megatron of Beast Wars, he's like, yes. And every, like, at the end of every sentence that he says. Where he's like, would you mind accompanying me on a slight detour? Yes. And I feel like I'm giving Axel that voice by mistake.
A detour?
They made their way to a back alley bordered by Grimm Street on one side and Oscar Wilde Street on the other. By the time they got there, the sky was already dyed a deep crimson. Are we gonna run into Caesar Salad? Scarlet had vanished without a trace. All they could hear was the sound of their footsteps.
We're here. This is it. I'm sure this is where I first woke. He told me to take him to the place where I first remember waking up.
Axel just stared at the ground in silence.
Mr. Axel?
You really don't remember anything before that. His words following the long silence made her blink. When I returned from my patrols, you were lying on the... Frick. You were lying on the couch, that's how we met. Your situation was explained to me, but I just couldn't accept it. Do you really not have any memories before then?
Yes.
I understand that you are not a member of another family, but I still... There was a sudden explosion. A shockwave erupted behind them, strong enough to make their hair fly back and pin their clothes to their bodies. What was that? Several figures were outlined in the white smoke. A familiar man stepped out from among them. It's Caesar Salad! It's Caesar Salad, boys! The Salad Man is back! Caesar salad dressing is back. Greetings again, my prey.
Mr. Caesar.
So you remember my name? Caesar snorted and fastened another sword. He switched from wielding a single long sword to dual blades, pointing them both at Amy. Today, you're mine. Oh my god. You'll have to go through me first. Axel raised his shotgun and moved between them to protect her. You're outnumbered. You should have run away when you had the chance. Kill him. At Caesar's command, the other men charged forward. Oof! Axel snapped his gun into a firing position and pulled the trigger. He missed the man he'd been aiming for, but the blast chopped into the support of a nearby awning. Within seconds, the head collapsed into the alleyway, briefly stalling their attacker's advance. Sometimes my poor aim comes in handy. Go back to the mansion, guest.
Huh? But Mr. Axel.
I'll hold him off.
But...
Just go. I hope you're ready for what's coming your way. I'm always ready. He's so cute. He's so cute. He's so cute. This is my job after all. That angle didn't look good for him though, gonna be honest.
Once I get back to the plaza, I just follow the red brick road.
Amy was running just like she had on that fateful day, fleeing the exact same man from the exact... But unlike that fateful day, now she was familiar with the streets and people she passed. Even if she'd stayed, there was nothing she could have done in that situation. She would have only made things harder for Axel.
I have to tell someone. I have to let them know, and soon. I'm sure Mr. Karami and the others will be able to do something.
Oh, Signorina! Signorina! Why are you in such a hurry?
Mr. Karami, Mr. Kieri! Help!
What's wrong? Is Caesar chasing you again?
He's not chasing me, but Mr. Axel. Mr. Caesar is after Mr. Axel.
So that gunshot earlier was Axel?
Yes, he said he'd hold him off so I could get away.
He's such a troublemaker. That he is. Well, let's return to the mansion like we'd planned.
You're going back? But what about Mr. Axel?
Leave him. He'll manage on his own.
But he was outnumbered. If we don't worry, he'll...
Really now? You must be putting up a good fight if you got this far without injury.
That's really all that matters.
Putting up a good fight?
A caporegime is nothing more than a sacrificial pawn after all.
Mr. Katamia.
I'm sorry, Signorina, but I agree with Curie. I'll send some scouts out, so please come back to the house with us. No. Go back. You know what? I'm so mad. Because personally, I would have gone back. The minute Katamia was like, I agree with Curie. He's a sacrificial pawn, he can go die, I would immediately go back. Immediately. Stupidity be damned. You gotta help Axel, okay? Okay. It would be nice if you would just stay in the forest like a good little feral wolf. Feral wolf. They were in the office in the back of the mansion. They'd spread a map out on top of the big table in the center of the room. Amy and Kitty were sitting across the table from Katamia.
The scouts are reporting that they couldn't find Axel in the alley.
Oh no, was he kidnapped?
Yes, they probably took him to the forest. Save him. Save him.
As you can see from the map, the town is encircled by a wall. The people who live in the forest outside the wall are the wolf gang. If they kidnapped him, they'd probably take him to the forest or the slums.
The slums?
Not everyone living in this town accepts the rule of the family J. It's this great district here, created by those who despise the ruling class. Right now, it's a perfect breeding ground for criminals. Screw it, I'm making Katamia French now.
The rival family aren't the only ones we have conflicts with. We have more skirmishes with residents of the slums than anyone else.
Caesar's group, the Wolfgang, is a group of anarchists composed of people who left out of the distaste for the town itself. That said, it's still not clear exactly where Caesar himself came from. Considering where Caesar tends to operate, the forest seems like the more likely option, as assuming that Axel isn't sleeping with the fishes already.
Sleeping?
Don't be so vulgar around the Signorina.
He's like a mix between Spanish and French, with my stupid accent.
Alright, maybe we should get something to eat.
Katamia rolled up the map and put it back down on the table before standing and stretching.
What would you like for dinner, Signorina?
I want carbonara. I want carbonara!
Are you a Signorina?
Amy was deeply confused by how normal the two of them were acting.
But what are we going to do about Mr. Axel?
Nothing.
Huh?
Did you not hear me? I said we're not doing anything.
But isn't he an important part of the family, Jay?
Yes, he is family J's and protecting you, one of our guests. It's an important part of his job, but these are separate issues.
Do you feel the same way, Mr. Katamia?
Yes. Axel's situation is a family problem. There's no need for you to worry about it or get involved, Signorina. Forget about him for now.
How could I? I think I'm going to go back to my room.
What about dinner?
I'm not hungry.
Alright then, I'll save a portion for you, so please eat whenever your appetite returns.
This man is stupid. I think what I'll do is stream for an hour. We have almost maybe 30 minutes left, so. Her stomach grumbled the moment she made it back to her room.
I guess this is what they call playing the martyr. But I can't eat at a time like this. I can't just forget about Mr. Axel.
She took off her shoes and lay on the bed.
Huh?
Feeling something underneath her, she sat back up.
Oh, Mr. Axel's cookies.
She'd forgotten she had them. Both the wrapping and the cookies inside had been crushed.
I bet Mr. Axel is hungry. Why did Mr. Katamia and Mr. Kitty talk about Mr. Axel like that?
She was perplexed and saddened by how they were so much colder and less kind to him than they were to her.
If only I hadn't been there. then Mr. Axel wouldn't be.
She gulped as a vortex of guilt engulfed her.
Mr. Caesar was chasing me after all. I wonder if I can save Mr. Axel if I go to Mr. Caesar's camp.
She shook her head, trying to shed her anxiety that Axel might already be.
If I can save Mr. Axel, then I should go find Mr. Caesar.
Yes. Be the dumb protagonist that you are. I love this. I would do this myself, honestly. Sneaking out of the mansion was even easier than Amy had thought it would be. Maybe it was because it was Sunday evening, but the town was just as busy now as it had been earlier in the day.
If I remember correctly, to get outside it was right once I get off Oz Street.
She put her hand on the tower and remembered the map as she looked around.
Right. That way.
You go, girl. Go get your man.
I finally got out of town.
She made quite a few wrong turns, but she'd eventually found her way past the walls. She wondered if everyone lived inside the walls, even though the town had been so crowded. The area around her was completely deserted.
That's the forest Mr. Kedemi and Mr. Kitty mentioned.
She took one of the 2 streets leading out of town. Once she got over a small hill, she could see a thick patch of forest. She was all alone and going to an unfamiliar place. She'd be lying if she said she wasn't afraid.
You can do this, Amy.
She made a fist and cheered herself on. With the breeze from the hill playing with her hair, she began to make her way into the forest. The moonlight she'd been relying on earlier was now obstructed by the treetops. The leaves of the trees were in constant motion. Was it the work of beasts, or just the wind playing tricks on her? Amy made her way further into the forest. As her eyes acclimated to the darkness, it turned out that even through the canopy, the faint moonlight was still enough to light the way. Ugh.
I can see lamplight, and I hear voices.
I gotta get a drink. My throat. Ugh. She didn't know who the voices belonged to. It sounded like several men. Hey, you.
Huh?
She turned around, startled by the voice behind her. Oh, no. You're the man our leader's been looking for, ain't ya?
Leader? Do you mean Mr. Caesar? I came to surrender myself to Mr. Caesar. I want to save Mr. Axel and...
Oh, really? A vulgar smile appeared on the man's face as he grabbed Amy's arm.
Huh?
He dragged her towards the lamplight. She was terrified and wanted to run, but the grip on her arm was so strong that she couldn't get away. Hey, y'all, the prey came to get caught. About 10 men were sitting around the roaring fire. Instantly, they stopped their drinking and merrymaking to stare at Amy. Now that's interesting. Better tell Mr. Caesar right away. He said he'd be out until morning. Oh yeah, I thought there was something like that. Then how about we get a taste before we hand her over to Mr. Caesar? Cut it out. What if she's a pure maid? The boss would tear you limb from limb. Let's tie her up with the other one.
Is Mr. Axel?
No need to hurry. You'll see him soon. She was tugged along by the arm as it cut right in front of the bonfire. A skinned rabbit on a spit was cooking over it. The charred mass beside it had probably been a rabbit too, once upon a time. The smell of blood and burning flesh made Amy turn away.
Just a taste couldn't hurt, right? Right, little lady?
A drunk man reached out and grabbed her calf as she tried to walk by. The sensation of his rough skin against her sent a chill down her spine.
Please stop.
Let her go. Unless you want the leader to kill you. Be a good boy and make do with the with the heroes in the slums. Oh, give me a break. I forget something. I think dying from disease would be preferable to getting tortured to death by the leader.
Fine.
She felt slightly relieved when he finally let go of her leg. Of course, she couldn't be completely relaxed in her current situation. All she could do was keep walking forward as the hand on her arm dragged her along. The rabbit meat cooking on the fire crackled and popped ominous. Meanwhile, just as Kitty was about to step into the kitchen, a soldato stopped him. He told Kitty that several reports had arrived before handing him a stack of memos. That sure didn't take long. Kitty took the papers with one hand and dismissed his subordinate with the other. He leaned against the wall and glanced over the pages. My, how selfish. He put the pages in his pocket and then pulled a wine glass from the cabinet and poured himself some water. He wrapped the glass in a silk handkerchief to avoid getting his gloves wet. Katamia, about the situation. Nothing answered him but the sound of slow, steady breathing. When he walked over to the sofa, he found Katamia sleeping soundly. How dare he? Kitty sat down on one of the sofa's armrests, taking a sip of water from his glass. Then he slowly tilted the glass over just above the sleeping Karamia's head.
Whoa!
Good morning. If you keep falling asleep right after you eat, you'll soon become a rather rotund lion.
Couldn't you have woken me up a little more gently?
The only reason I didn't use tomato juice or milk is because I wanted you to think I was being conscientious. Kitty tossed the handkerchief he'd wrapped around the glass at Katamia. The Don used it to wipe his face off before glaring back at him. Things appear to be moving as we'd anticipated.
I see. How's that look?
Can't say for sure yet. I'm sure I'll be able to figure something out with my capabilities.
I don't know what I'd do without you, Kitty.
I don't either. Of course, I don't intend to kill myself over such matters.
They don't know she's gone. Be a good girl, making a fool, she ain't gonna do you any good.
Ow.
Why are you here?
I wanted to save you, Mr. Axel, but then they caught me.
What do you think I was buying time for? It was so you could get back to the mansion safely.
I know that, but both Mr. Katamia and Mr. Kiri said they weren't going to help you.
They weren't in the wrong. That was the natural decision.
Please don't say that. Aren't you all close friends? It's my fault this happened to you. I just couldn't stand by and do nothing. So I came to talk to Mr. Caesar. I was going to ask him to take me and let you go.
Did you really think you could just negotiate with these people?
Well,
You're an idiot.
oh, look at that face. It's a cat. It's a cat.
Can you not imagine what hell they might put you through?
I know everything's going to be okay. I was alone in the beginning anyway. Family Az has done so much for me. I just wanted to bring you home, Mr. Axel.
Guest. I do not approve.
Huh?
I protect the family with all my body and soul. Those are the rules. Not only are you a guest, but the Donna instructed me to treat you as a member of the family. You are not alone. I can't say your actions were even remotely worthwhile, but I do appreciate the sentiment.
Mr. Axel.
Sounds like something's happening.
Greetings. That campfire sure looks nice.
You're the asshole.
Oh no, it's the day of rest, so you better put those weapons down. I hear one of my subordinates and my dear guests are joining you by the fire. For both our sakes, why don't you just hand them over without making a fuss?
It ain't up for discussion. Like the Wolfgang is soft enough to give up its prey.
I see. Well, I guess you leave me no choice. It's too late to change your minds now. Brace yourselves, little puppies.
Family Grim here.
Family A. Anderson is here. Family A. Boots is here.
Family adhered. Present as well.
Family, all assume your positions. Surely even denizens of the slums are aware the Sunday compromise. And do know it's not just some flimsy verbal promise. It's something that, when violated, brings some very severe consequences.
The compromise doesn't exclusively apply to
mafiosi. All violence in town is prohibited.
I will not abide violations of the law. I sure don't care as long as I get to use my new gunpowder formula.
And we are in the middle of the forest. Please be careful. Why have you called me out here in the middle of the night? Peter, hurry up and get this mess cleaned up. Ooh. Oh. Peter's a cutie. It is precisely midnight. The day of rest seems to have come to an end.
Alright, in the name of the compromise, eliminate these lawbreakers.
Ribbit. Ribbit. Yes, please untie me. Ribbit. Ribbit.
Weren't you?
Oh, that's old boy. Family Anderson's Gonsolars, militias, and this is our intelligence operation. Romeo. If you're here, does that mean those gunshots were part of the cleanup? Indeed, you, sir, were not the only offender.
Offender? What do you mean?
Either way, things seem to be quiet to have quieted down. Yeah, let's go, guest. Axel picked his jacket up off the ground and put it over Amy.
Mr. Axel?
You don't want to see the corpses, do you? Maybe I do. Axel put his hand on her back and started guiding her across the clearing. Even with her vision obstructed, she still felt the discomfort, a smell of singed flesh, a rusty metallic smell. The footsteps were clearly more numerous than she expected from the number of men she'd seen. She could hear the sound of tearing flesh and breaking bones, pained groans, anguished wails. On the other side of the cloth was a world grayer and dimmer than she could have ever imagined from inside the town.
Welcome back, Axel, Amy.
Mr. Karamia. Mr. Curie.
You are extremely foolish for sneaking off into enemy territory without so much as a word.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Family A boots. No casualties. We're withdrawing.
Looks like family Anderson's already gone home. We'll head back to town too.
Good. Thanks for coming.
We're just abiding by the compromise. Good evening.
Peter killed like 2 or 3 people. But they were all those dogs' underlings. That's not a problem, right? Indeed. The Undertaker will handle it from here. Oh, what a relief. No, really, I'm the one who saved you, so don't act like you're the one doing me a favor. We're leaving, Peter.
Well, I guess that's all that is left for us.
Axel, you understand what you've done, don't you? Axel nodded and then got down on his knees, his back still straight as an arrow.
Mr. Axel?
He showed no reaction to Amy calling his name and instead just looked back at Kitty. Show some respect. Kitty kicked Axel's shoulder hard, knocking him down to the ground. Katamia pulled the pistol from the holster of his hip and pointed at his conscious chest.
Mr. Curie?
Stay out of this, Senoria.
But...
The moonlight streaming through the trees shone on Kitty's back. Drawing his own pistol, he narrowed his ice blue eyes and took aim at Axel's brow. No. No. You can't massacre my boy like this. Axel, explain why you're being disposed of. I violated the compromise and used a weapon. Very good. Now accept your sentence.
Did I get the bad ending?
Morning already?
Warm sunlight streamed in through the windows outside. She could hear birds chirping. It was almost as if the previous night had just been a dream.
Mr. Axel!
What's wrong? Are you here? Good morning.
You gold?
Mr. Axel,
You've had Axel down.
he's not a ghost. He's alive. I'm so glad you're okay, Mr. Axel.
What are you doing? Let me go, please.
Oh, what's wrong? When did you two get so close and touchy-feely?
She's not. She's the one who hugged me. I have nothing to do with this. Now, please let me go.
Sorry. My mind just went blank after Mr. Kitty shot Mr. Axel.
I didn't shoot him. How many times do I have to say it for you to understand?
Mr. Kitty!
I didn't shoot Axel. I shot the ground. Do I really seem so callous that I'd just kill a friend like that?
I think you do.
You do.
It'd be weirder if he didn't.
It almost sounds like praise in a 3-part harmony like that.
If you weren't trying to shoot Mr. Axel, then why?
Take a look at this.
Kitty interrupted Amy, pulling a scrap of paper from his pocket and handing it to her.
They're punishments from each family day for Axel's violation as a compromise. By all rights, we should have had some of our territory seized, but I did what I could to reduce the sentence to this level. Considering how much trouble I had to go through, it's only natural that I'd want to shoot the source of it all.
So he really did want to shoot him.
Axel, don't worry about patrolling today. When you're done eating, take some soldati with you to the Grim Mansion and ask them for cleaning instructions. Understood.
I'll send her sweets for a week.
Is that part of my punishment for violating the compromise as well?
Of course not. This is your punishment for making us worry.
Understood. Oh my god.
I think I'm gonna end it there, actually. Thank you all if you joined this stream. It was fun. And hopefully you enjoyed this stream, as I said. But, as always, I hope you have a good day, night, morning, whatever. And I'll see you next time.